everybody, it's Angelica with Emergingyou. Now, I am an enrolled agent, but I am not your enrolled agent or your tax professional. I am not an attorney. So, anything in this video is for training and education purposes only. Don't do this yourself. I'm not telling you to take any of these deductions yourself. Please get with a tax professional before you go any further. Now, we are going to talk about popular business tax deductions. What is a tax deduction? A tax deduction is a business expense, we'll do a business expense that you are used or that you can deduct off of your taxable income. So it helps lower the taxable income in the end. These expenses are legitimate business expenses. They are ordinary, reasonable, and necessary for whatever profession you have. Now, these are not personal expenses. I'm not telling you to do that. These are legitimate business expenses. All right? And before you do it, you got to make sure you have a good record keeping system going. If you're ever audited, you need to be able to pull these records up. So, let's talk. We know the IRS definition is these expenses must be ordinary, reasonable, and necessary. So, if you were a hairstylist, you have your salon chairs, your salon, mirrors, what else? Combs, scissors, hair blower, razors, whatever else the person may need. If you're a mobile hairstylist, you might even include your car. Any marketing. Now, these are just some examples for the hairstylist professions. Of course, we have dozens of different professions. So that means you're going to have dozens of different expenses that you could use. But before you get started and before you think about taking any deductions, you need to make sure that you are having the proper record keeping. So, I use an app. The app I use allows me to take a picture of my receipt. It saves the receipt in the database. It allows me to notate it. It has the date, and I can put whatever reason and who I was meeting with. Mileage. It tracks my mileage from point A to point B. It has the date, how many miles, and of course it allows me to put the info in and who I'm meeting and what am I meeting this person for. So that when it is tax time, or if I was ever audited, it allows me to log in, track all my mileage, access any of the receipts I may have, and export my profit and loss statement, which makes things 10 times easier than having to, let's say, scramble up the receipts or find old receipts to try to explain my expenses. So, if you're interested in that app, drop the comment below, let me know. Alright, let's see what's next. Vehicle and travel expenses. So, you have your standard mileage rate, which is 70 cents a mile for 2025. And then you have your actual expenses. So, you could take insurance, repairs, gas, anything else you can think of. Cleaning the car, car washes, carpet cleaner, air fresheners. All of that can be an expense, as long as it's ordinary, reasonable, and necessary. When you are tracking vehicle expenses and travel expenses, you got to be sure that you are able to distinguish personal and business. So a lot of times when you file your taxes, it's going to ask you, do you have a personal vehicle? Yes? No. You always want to make sure you have a personal vehicle, business vehicle. Because they're going to ask you, how are you handling your personal business? You only have your business vehicle. So you need to be able to choose or show them that you do have a personal vehicle and business vehicle you use for business. Okay? If you use one vehicle for both, you are definitely going to have to prove the percentage that you use for your business and show proper documentation that you're using this card 50% for business and 50% for personal. Then you got to go through the mileage. How many personal miles? How many business miles? And so on. So it gets a little bit more complicated when you have one vehicle for both. So it is definitely highly recommended to have your personal and business separated. Just like if you have a bank account. Okay? You have a business bank account. You want to be able to show that business expenses and personal expenses are separated. So you want a business account and a personal account. If you are ever to be audited, they can easily just say no to all your expenses or your deductions because you had your personal account linked with it. So keep that in mind to avoid any issues. Keep your personal business separated. Now, we also have your home office deduction. A lot of people use this if they have a home office in their home. But when I say a home office, I really mean an office. Not a kitchen table, not a dining room table. A real home office set up with a table, get your laptop, and this is a place that you do 100% business in. The equipment in there is used for business, not personal. You can deduct up to $5 a square foot, up to 300 square feet on that home office. If you do the actual method, you can do your mortgage, your rent, utilities, repairs. Like I said, do the actual. Please make sure that you have all your documentation before going further. Alright, you guys, I think we're going to wrap up for part 1. I just wanted to show you guys. Nope, let's do this. Equipment, software, and supplies. So, some equipment can be computers, monitors, printers, cameras, microphone, ring lights. Then you got software. You may need to use Canva, QuickBooks, CRM. Then you have your office supplies. Pens, papers, printer, ink. All of these things are deductions for your home office. You can easily show record, show proof that these are expenses that you use in your home office. If you're claiming a home office, I highly suggest taking a picture of your home office and getting your measurements. Alright, this is just proper record keeping. Keep a record on anything you claim. Now, this is going to wrap up part 1. We will continue with part 2 here shortly. You'll see the video uploaded. Now, alright, so this wraps up part 1. If you found this video interesting or informative, be sure to like and subscribe. And of course, if you have any questions or if there is a topic that you want me to discuss, maybe do a video on, or if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next video.